We are ready to cross to kick off. It is here now. So let's get ready for the athletes. Respect them, let's be on our feet. Pass. National anthem of Morocco. Now the national anthem of Zimbabwe. It is time to get ready for kickoff of 2025 Rugby Africa Cup. The Sabres starting off with their defense against Morocco as our first fixture, and then Brian will be giving us the lineups as they are.
All right, starting with Morocco, this is how they line up. Elias El Ansari, Hassan Haimishe, Zakaria El Fakir, 1, 2, and 3. Samil Inawi, Yasin Mamaria, 4 and 5. 6 is Bilal Fadil. Neil Adnasa is 7. Reda El Garoui is at 8. 9 is Elal Ekatabi. Adil Achamba is the captain. Is a fly half. Muhammad Karim Gadri is 11. Nufal El Kadri is the first center. Louis Petin is at 13. Jibril Rukanocha, 14. And Valentin Tirefort is the fullback.
Welcome to the Pearl of Africa. And it's a try here for Morocco. They draw first blood in the Rugby Africa Cup 2025. Was a quick pounce in here. Zimbabwe, a team that only conceded 3 tries in 2024, has already been caught out slipping here.
We have our first try.
The weather also does acknowledge
the Rugby Africa Cup 2025.
It turns out
We'll confirm the score shortly.
And as I said, there's very little to know about Morocco, and we are really excited to see what they have to display. And right now they are putting a rolling maul, pounding fast against Zimbabwe. So they're making us know that it's possible to score against Zimbabwe. It's not that hard. And it's drizzling. The weather's changed a bit here.
Well, that's definitely going to bring up a very different complexion in terms of gameplay. Sama, what does this mean, especially to a team like Zimbabwe that is known for sleek and precise short passing and movement?
So when there's this wet conditions, it just translates into a territorial game. You don't want to play in your half because there are going to be a couple of handling errors. The ball is slippery, the pitch is slippery. So it's better to make errors in the opponent's half rather than making it in your own half. So it's going to be territorial game, and you're going to see a lot of kicking. So the strategy has to change right now. And you can see Morocco has made a substitute, number 22 coming on. That means it's going to translate into a kicking game because the coaches are read into this.
So here, Joe, that is the band that comes on, and a quick break here for Morocco. Trying to fight out here. Remember, butterfingers now become a thing of reality. With that ball, already an awkward shape, made even more difficult to control. Now with the unpredictability of how it slips, that also brings up quite the opportunities for whichever team is ready to actually take them on.
I should say it's looking good for Morocco at the moment. They have gotten the biggest percentage of the territory and the possession, and they are able to translate. They already have 5 points on the board, and they look to add more.
Substitution for Morocco, of course, Valentini.
Welcome you once again to the Pearl of Africa. This is Kampala, Uganda. This is the magnificent Mandela National Stadium. Brilliant architecture marvel here. And the home of the Uganda Rugby Cranes.
The first light round didn't go to plan, and Zimbabwe knocked it on. They were unable to capitalize. Though, actually, it is the second line out, and they just got it wrong this time. But we look forward to seeing the set piece brilliancy, because that line out, that rolling maul, it was brilliant. And I think they are going to have more of this coming up. And now this is the first scrum of the game, and we wait to see how dominant is their pack, how good are their forwards. So, and this first scrum of the game always sends out a statement. Are you dominant enough? Can you put the message across? But given the wet conditions, the pitch might be a bit slippery, and it may affect the efficiency of the scrum. Let's see the first feed.
Well, they are locked in here. And Morocco quickly get that ball out and now looking to make the kick and chess. It's pushing that ball into a very awkward area. And quick reset here. Cleared out. Good play here coming in from Zimbabwe to try and keep that ball away from their danger area. Speaking of danger, that's a man that is no stranger to many that did watch the Rugby Africa Cup 2014.
Tapiwa Mafora, a nightmare to most of the Ugandans here.
Well, actually meant 2024 rather than 2014. Shot number 15. Tapiwa did put in a brilliant shift.
And Morocco wins its third line out of the day, and it's a rolling maul again, and it seems to be their best set piece here. They carry, but too many handling errors given the wet conditions, and Zimbabwe is quick on the counter.
The referee giving it a bit of leeway because he realizes that's definitely going to go with territory as the torrents of rain continue to pour down. Talk about being just on cue. Tapiwa Mafura here having a bit of a discussion and disagrees, seems to think the referee got that called wrong. It's just 6 minutes. Morocco drawing first blood off that rolling maul. And now they have a line out, the first one not going according to plan.
But you can see the intent of the game. it has changed abruptly because of the rain. I mean, Tapua had a chance to counter. He could have carried the ball further forward, maybe set up, but he chose to kick because right now it's slippery and territory matters. So he had to kick it deep into the 22, and now Morocco is trying to clear the ball from their half and be able to gain the territorial advantage.
Well, they do manage to get the ball out here. Morocco, big clearance. And I don't know if he got touches on that, but the ball just going out. I really wanted to get that quickly in.
The referee says it had already crossed the plane of touch, and it's a throw to Zimbabwe in their half, just at the 10-meter line.
Zimbabwe with a 92 percentile ball handling efficiency in the 2024 Rugby Africa Cup. Also quite dominant when it came to the tackles.
And Zimbabwe win their first throw at the line out, and straight they go to a maul. The referee says the line out is not yet over. He tells the team to hold before they can easily join in, and off he lets them go.
Infringement here by Morocco. An advantage now handed back to Zimbabwe.
He was trying to jack over the ball and he went off his feet, given the slippery nature of the pitch.
A big kick here from Ian Pryor. One of the other standout performers that we did have in the last editions. Definitely made quite the impact on the team and the performance in general. Ian Pryor played 2 matches in the last tournament there. And did manage to rack up 16 points to his name.
Ian Pryor should be the most experienced player on this pitch, and also I would say of the tournament, arguably, because he had quite a number of caps for the Queensland's Red in Australia. He moved on to play for the Harlequins Western Force, and he won a Super Rugby title. So if a man has got something like that to his name, you should not take him for a joker. He's really a good player.
Well, Ian Pryor seems to be signaling for the fact that he will go for the kick. That's going to be pretty interesting, given he missed about 7 kicking. That is 7 goal kicks in the last edition. Ian Pryor.
But given the weather conditions, any chance you get at getting points, you should take them, because you could go to the line out or to the corner trying to get the rolling maul and you knock on. So the handling errors are very prone in these conditions. So it's better to go for the safe option, just go for the poles and let it, strikes it nicely. It's 3 points to Zimbabwe.
Picking it up from where he left it off. Missed 7, scored 7. Starts off his account here in 2025 with 3 points to the bag. The lead cut down to just 2 points at the moment with 10 minutes played. It's Zimbabwe Sables 3, the defending champions. Morocco Atlas Lions 5. Well, what a way to introduce yourself to the big leagues once again. Restart. Quick here. Morocco quick out of the lines out here and trying to close down the spaces pretty early. It looks like Zimbabwe definitely had those kicking sessions working for them. And once again, Ian Pryor putting that out into touch for a line out.
But this, the rain should play in Zimbabwe's favor, because they had one of the sessions earlier on in the week. Their session, it was raining. So I would assume they're now used to these conditions. Though you can never get used to the weight, but I would think it would give them an edge over Morocco. And Morocco fails to win his line out. Unfortunately, Zimbabwe loses it forward. The referee tries to play advantage, but well, there's no advantage gain, and we shall go for a scrum to Morocco.
Scrum for Morocco here. They'll need to galvanize themselves. Try to push. Is the weather letting up? Doesn't seem like it is. Still pouring in torrents. It also explains the sudden silence around the stadium. The stands noticeably empty. That's a curiosity if the weather was to let up a little later on when the two neighboring countries go to war.
Even if it was raining, rain or what, trust me, those stands will be filled by 4 p.m. And as we wait for the big one, we try to watch all the games. And I implore everyone, please watch all the games. By the end of the day, in case you're a new fan, you'll be knowing what rugby is all about. So don't miss any game. Don't miss any action.
Quick pick here and trying to break the lines. This is scintillating stuff on the occasion coming in from Morocco. It was a quick attempt at a break there coming in from Gaboy. Still has possession. Time to pick that ball up once again. El Katabi puts the ball in motion, trying to set themselves up. Quite physically a specimen here. Morocco, plenty of bulked up players and a decent attempt at a drop kick.
Every chance at points, you should go for it. Though it was a fatal attempt, it doesn't mean you should give up, because given the conditions here, it's making it tricky to play. You can see they're trying to carry feathers in the 5, but they're going backwards. So any chance to move forward or to get points on board, you should go for it.
Decent attempt there by the skipper, Adil Achaba, who's in shot 10 for the Atlas Lions. Picks up the ball. Trying to get momentum worked up in here. Big kick there coming in from Jadot to the center of the park. Loses possession. And there's a turnover.
Actually, it's offside. 10-meter rule. One of the players didn't retreat backwards and was ahead of the kicker. So that's a penalty to Zimbabwe. And they get a chance to attack.
Oh, very good alertness there from Godfrey Mozanagro as Ian Pryor makes that kick. And quick to the mark, Matthew Mandioma will be in there to feed the ball in. Slippery conditions, you can imagine.
I should say I like how El Katabi is handling the ball game for Morocco. The control, the box kicks, the territorial game, he's doing very well. And the number 10, Chaba
ball was lost in there. Now that's a proper tumble out here. And bodies everywhere. Teammates having to support the players to get back in there. It was good pickup once again from Mozanagro Godfrey. But in the end, it turned out to be, well, an occasion that will call for a scrum here. Pretty difficult game by all conditions to put your full attributes to display here for both teams. And it's looking like at the moment it's just picking those small moments, trying to capitalize on every single small margin, because there's not really much you can do in terms of pace, in terms of strength, especially with these kind of conditions.
It's like in Formula One. Once it rains, everyone is set back to ground level, and everyone has to show off their skills, which are independent of how good the car is. So, unfortunately, Morocco concedes a scrum penalty. The loose head hinges and collapses the scrum, and Zimbabwe get a chance to get ahead by 3. That's in case Ian Pryor is able to convert. And you can see Hilton Mudariki there celebrating the penalty, because it's a chance to take over the lead for the first time in this game.
Well, once again, they'll have to count on the boot of Ian Pryor. Be the gentleman that is expected to step up here for them and attempt to deliver the goods. Ian Pryor had 16 points to his name in the last edition. He's already opened up his account here with 3. Can 3 turn to 6 and deliver the lead for the Sables?
I should say I like his kicking ritual. The small shake he did there.
Goes for it, and that's a decent attempt. And yes, he does manage to nail it. It's another one notched in for Ian Pryor, and that particular one, that particular kick, does give the Sables the lead in this game for the first time in 16 minutes. The Zimbabwe Sables finished the entire tournament 2024 without ever falling behind at halftime. It looks like that's a ritual that they will want to keep alongside the one that Ian Pryor has prior to his kicking.
Well, we're just 16 minutes into the first half, so you never know. Morocco could turn this around and take the lead once again before halftime. That's a good carry by Fraser. He sets it up, and Hilton will look to clear their 22-0.
Well, attempts here now by Morocco to try and get back into the saddle. Zimbabwe Sables are looking now to hold up. You're always very vulnerable when you've just actually managed to put points on the board. Ball over the line, and that will be line out in favor of Zimbabwe.
Oh, it was touched by Moroccan. So the lineup goes to Zimbabwe. And
it's actually given to Morocco.
How is Zimbabwe? The assistant referee tries to explain to the Moroccan hooker.
Well, it looked like for a moment he was convinced it was theirs, but touch judge making it pretty clear. It's Zimbabwe's Matthew Mandioma to feed this one in. Another brilliantly executed one. He seems consistently flawless with those lineouts.
But because the stewards might allow him to cross.
They get the ball in. He already has ball in hand. Matthew Mandioma, as the Sables now pit their energy against the Atlas Lions.
The referee tells them to use it as it was taken down by a Zimbabwean player.
That kick probably not going according to plan, and quite the scramble for the ball, battling for possession, and looks like there's quite a bit of an exchange of pleasantries slightly off the camera angle there. In the meantime, well, they do find time to undo the tussle and get back to the game.
Well, it's to call. They're just getting a few cuddles in here and there, but they're back to playing. But I should say the number of handling errors are trying to accumulate here. And Mudarik steps in to try and control the game. Oh, that's a brilliant kick by Pryor, who was able to spot that the Moroccans had only one man at the back, and there was a wide gap in there, and was able to slot it indirectly into touch, and it will be a line out to, is it a 50-22? Let's see what the touch gets. Oh, it's not a 50-22. It was in there.
It's just a line out here.
Yeah, line out to Morocco.
Hassan Aimiche to deliver this one for the Atlas Lions. Dangerously close to that try line. They lose possession in that line out. Picked up here by the Sables, trying to get their way through. Battling here to get their first try of the game. They are in the lead. Breaking down, looking for space out on the flank, and that is a knock-on. You can see the anguish there on Mohamed Karim Quadri. The fact that he just couldn't keep a grip on that.
The ref is trying to establish, was it deliberate or it was unintentional? He says it's a deliberate knock-on. He gives a penalty, but no one is sent to the bin.
Ian Pryor kicking that out. A lot of start-stop in this particular game. And hoping to try and gain the advantage. The drizzle still on. Swapped to the ground. Zimbabwe trying to test out their muscle. That ball seems stuck in there, but finally released free. Picked up here, trying to go for the pick and drive. And in just a few precious inches. Now this is where the muscles have to be taut and fully at work. Quickly closing down on the man with the ball, and they still gain a few inches here, trying to force the issue. So close, so dangerously close. Trying to shift to the left and to utilize the open flank, and the fallouts here are quite numerous.
Zimbabwe accumulated a number of phases in the 5 And
Pushing.
John Mudariki says it's time to play it out. But I think he made a knock-on. No knock-on.
The referee
plays
says
on.
carry on. Looking to release Ian Pryor, sets it out in motion. Nice pickup here. This could be a good instance for them. The dummy sold, and he delivers in top-notch quality. That's exactly what he did in 2024, picking it up once again. Tapiwa Mufura puts in a try here for Zimbabwe to extend their lead. The Sebals are finally getting their rhythm.
Tapiwa, not a stranger to the goal line, and he has been able to put his team forward. And once Peltini shot out, he had to make that tackle. And once he missed it, it was open space for Mafura, and there was no way he was going to pass that ball. He had to go for the line, and he went and he scored. Momentum carried him forward, and he was able to score 5 points for Zimbabwe, adding that tally to 11.
Played 3 games in 2024, notched up 12 points in total here for his team. Interestingly, had that one try, according to the records here. My, oh my, quite the impact that he kept making in there. This time opens up with the first try. And now they'll attempt to go for a kick. Quite a bit of a distance here. Can Ian Pryor make 11 go to 13? It's a good kick. And so far, he's been flawless with his boot. 3 attempts, 3 conversions. Excellent stuff here from Ian Pryor. 13 Zimbabwe, Morocco 5, 22 minutes played.
Tapiwa Mafura being the threat we expected him to be, and any chance to make a line break, he will make it. He's one of those players you just can't give leeway. And once you just give him just a small gap like that, he will just break the line and he will be able to score, just like he has done there.
The Sables, interestingly, putting out a tweet earlier on in Uganda, as they did welcome and say big thank you to their fans in Uganda that welcomed them well, and did urge them in Uganda, I must insist, to come in large numbers to the Mandela National Stadium and get behind the defending champions. Well, you have to say that's some class.
That was really brilliant of them. Kudos to the admin. You know what you're doing. You should get a pay raise. Mudariki sets up for a box kick. Touched by the Moroccan player. The referee says it went backwards, and he says play on. There was no knock on. But you can see the intention of the Zimbabwean team. They want to play in the opponent's half. They're trying to kick the ball away and gain territory. But it's a penalty. The referee seems to say someone was offside there.
So Morocco now have to realign themselves.
That's a good touch finder by Ian Pryor. He sets it up at the 10 into Moroccan half. We are yet to see Tino Tenda really put his best work out there, but he's one of those players we are excited to see, given what he has been able to do on the grand stage. It's a throw to Zimbabwe, and they're able to claim the line out. Mudariki seems to want to build a couple of phases before he lets it go to the backs. And he's keeping it short given the wet conditions, trying to avoid the handling errors which are associated with those heavy passes and the long balls.
Looking to switch up play now. Ooh, sold that dummy, but Morocco wasn't buying. It was a brilliant attempt there.
There was no clear release by the Moroccan defender, and the referee awards a penalty to Zimbabwe. And we wonder what will be the decision this time. Oh, they opt for the corner. they are no longer interested in the threes. They want to get scores in multiples of 5 and 7.
Matthew once again to deliver. So far being flawless with his deliveries, and once again another one to add to his stats here. He manages to get that straight to teammate. Properly done, well contested, and now picked up well into the thick of the action. Morocco looking to impede Zimbabwe from attempting to go forward. Well, that's a knock-on, and that ball was lost. And that, well, how many knock-ons were there? According to the referee, about 3, but favor now of the possession to the Atlas Lions. It looks like it's a scrum here.
Yeah, Morocco gets a chance to clear its ball from its half and be able to gain the advantageous territory into the Zimbabwean half. Hopefully they're able to scrummage legally and get the ball out. The ref trying to find the mark. I think we are the mark. El Katabi out there, ready to feed in the ball and get the game rolling. It's not the best passes, but they're able to get it out and they're able to set up. Oh, referee says it went backwards, but awards a penalty to Morocco. One of the Zimbabwean players was caught offside at the breakdown. So at least they get a chance to go and play into the opposition half, making them the attacking team. The conditions are not really favorable at the moment, but the teams are trying to put out the best of display they can. As you can see, some fans have persevered the rain. They're out there with the umbrellas trying to watch the game, because Zimbabwe are the defending champions, and missing to watch this game would be one of those moments, your lowest moments. So you should be able to watch all these games.
Well, a couple of the fans here braving the adverse weather and still showing up. A couple of those look like it's a quick skip here for the game, and then later on some office work. Well, whatever gets the job done.
Someone moved out to go and get a few documents.
Yeah, the documents are getting wet.
That's a nice block from Morocco, and they get the ball. It's now their chance to attack, just right at the halfway. It's a knock-on. The handling errors are starting to accumulate. Regardless of how good you are at these conditions, will test you.
Definitely put you to quite the issues out here. "30 minutes of the game played. This is just a reminder, your rugby fans, Rock Boom is Uganda's #1 premium energy drink, and it's bringing the energy to the pitch as the official energy partner of the Uganda Rugby Union. And we're talking about unstoppable energy on the pitch and in the stands as our rugby warriors battle it out in the Rugby Africa Cup qualifiers here at the Mandela National Stadium, starting today, the 8th, all the way to the 19th of July, 2025. Come feel the power, test that bold Rock Boom energy, and let's cheer our boys all the way to victory. Rock Boom energizes your game.
A number of handling errors in one phase play, but the referee rules the ball is what happened? Was someone nutmegged? Because one of the Moroccan
get onto the ball. Once again, Godfrey Zaganaro, being at the thick of all the action, might have potentially hurt a bit more than it looked off the set play. Does it necessitate a substitution for Morocco is the big question. It looks like it does, because getting prepped here is Johannes Ho. Johannes Ho set to come onto the pitch. In the meantime, just about 8 minutes of normal time left to play before that buzzer will come through. Into the scrum now.
Reda carries the ball, but the Zimbabwean players try to compete at the breakdown, but unfortunately, due to the slippery conditions, they go off the field, and the referee awards a penalty to Morocco, and Morocco will get a chance to clear their lines. El Kaderi with a good touch finder, just in the middle of the 10 and the halfway, and this would give Morocco a good attacking platform. Hopefully they can add on to the 5 points they have in the bag and be able to topple Zimbabwe.
Well, at the 2024 Rugby Africa Cup, the winning team was the team that scored the most tries in 8 of the 12 games. The only time we had a team scoring less tries and managing to win the game was Algeria, that they scored fewer tries than their opponents, and they beat Kenya 20-12 in the semi-final, scoring just 1 try while Kenya had 2. At the moment Zimbabwe is in the lead. They've managed to get themselves a try as well to match up with Morocco's only attempt, but that is all on the score for Morocco. Zimbabwe managing to put that boot of Ian Pryor to good use, and the ball now popping out of the hands, just rolling away.
The ball is like butter at the moment. Just being able to get a good grip of it is proving to be.
There just making his way out. Sad that he gets injured this early in the game. That was the tackle that we did talk about right in the corner. Didn't look like it was much, but apparently pretty much there, and sends Jibril Bokanocha to the medical room. And in his place, that's the replacement, Johannes Ho, coming in, shot 21, to take his spot.
We wish him a good recovery. Hopefully he's not that serious and is able to make it back in time for the rest of the games. Morocco with a good attacking platform here. El Katabi set to fit in the ball.
Well, they'll need to put good utilization to this one. They need to drill more. The referee signals the fact that side entry in Zimbabwe, the Sebos with the congratulatory high fives tell the entire story. They really needed that. They were in quite a predicament of a sport, and that allows them to breathe easy. No guessing what Ian Pryor is going to do in this situation.
Conceding a scrum penalty on your own field should be abominable, and I would think Morocco should address this immediately, because this is your chance to attack. It's an attacking platform, and you're misusing it. The loose forward there angling in, and the ref was able to spot it and penalize them. Now momentum is with the Zimbabwe Sebos, as they are in the close to the Moroccan 22, and this should be an attacking line out.
Delivery once again, Mandioma. Matthew sets the ball in. Zimbabwe capitalizing, and
Morocco illegally collapsing the maul there, and the referee is playing advantage to Zimbabwe.
Giving them a time to be able to dig out that ball. Good play here from Hilton Dakiri as the ball is set into space. Big pickup here from Morocco Adil Achaba, the captain, has managed to pick that. Wasn't happy that he was run into, but well, goes with the territory of contact sport. The referee bringing it back. Had played the advantage from the earlier collapse. Now brings it back here, and it's still advantage for the Sebos. Ian Pryor, will he fancy his boot again?
It's going to the corner. Once you taste the 5 points, it's like an addiction. You want to go for the 5 at any chance you get. Going for glory. They're trying to put the game to rest.
Can also officially confirm that we do have Algeria. They've just arrived here looking outside our commentary booth. They will be up next as they take on Cote d'Ivoire. That's the game that's coming up immediately after this one. Then thereafter, later on, Namibia, the Will Witches, will be up against the Lions of Senegal, or the Lion Cubs. And then the final game for today, Kenya takes on Uganda.
El Katabi enables Morocco clear their lines. And he seems to claim one of the Zimbabwean players tapped the ball as he kicked it into touch. But the AR is adamant and awards the line out to Zimbabwe.
So as it stands at the moment, the rains or the drizzles have finally been put to bed. Still very slippery conditions in here that will still need some mastering to get over. But for the moment, able to play without the torrents beating down, and that is quickly synchronized into the added speed and urgency that we do see in the game now, trying to muscle their way through here. Plenty of collapses.
That's a brilliant turnover.
Samir Janoi sets it back. Big kick here coming in from Louis Petun. It's picked up here by Tapua. Furi sells the dummy. Quickly Bolt here tries to release the ball, but it's quickly intercepted and picked up. Morocco looking for the kick and chess. Oh, it's excellent play. Excellent play there from Tapua. Tapiwa Mufura had definitely gotten the better of the Atlas Lions.
Well, once he gets you sleeping, you are gone. You can never sleep with Tapua next to you. He's always a threat. Even in a small gap, he was able to create a line break. And given the conditions at the moment, he can easily force you to slide off, and it's a bit embarrassing, but well, that's rugby for you. It's a scrum to Morocco. There was a handling error from Zimbabwe. And hopefully they're able to get this scrum right, given they lost most of the previous scrums.
Well, into the scrum it is for Morocco, but we do urge you to be your own investor with MTN Momo. Invest as low as 1,000 and earn daily interest. And you can withdraw your money anytime you want. No paperwork needed. Simply dial *165 *6 hash and select investor or use the MTN Momo app. MTN, official partner here of the Rugby Africa Cup 2025. The buzzer goes as it's the 40th minute. Will there be time for the last play? Looks like it doesn't sit well here with the technical team of Morocco.
It is a 50-22. I think that's what Tapua was complaining to the AR about, because initially the AR had given the ball to Morocco, but it was a 50-22 kick from their half, indirectly into touch into the Moroccan half.
Line out. Delivered well. Now squeezed out to the flank. One last set play here for Zimbabwe to put an exclamation mark here on what has been a very dominant performance from them. Morocco had the earlier beating of them, but thereafter that competition slowly crawling down and closing in the Gulf. The referee seems to have signaled for an offside here, so
Oh, it was offside at the line out. Let's say line out, the Moroccans had advanced before the line out was over, and the ref penalized them. So Ian Pryor will go for the 3 points, and I believe that should be able to set us into the halftime. He sets to extend the squad tally of Zimbabwe to 16 if this goes over.
Very good position for him to actually take this one. He positions himself, primes himself, goes for the kick. Penalty good. And an extra 3 points notched in here by Ian Pryor to take the tally to 16 at halftime. Zimbabwe maintaining their formidable track record of not trailing in the last 2 editions of the Rugby Africa Cup at halftime. The last time they went on a run all the way to the final, conceding only 3 tries. They've conceded 1 here for the Atlas Lions of Morocco. But even then, still steamrolling their way into a firm lead here. The next 40 minutes will be all to play for Morocco. Halftime here at the Rugby Africa Cup 2025. It's Zimbabwe 16, Morocco 5. Second half gets underway, and it is Zimbabwe still in the lead of this first game of the Rugby Africa Cup 2025. Zimbabwe 16, Morocco 5. Second half underway. A much-needed change from the Atlas Lions, who had dominance in the first few minutes of the game, drawing first blood and getting the first try here. It's been a very different affair altogether once we got into the later stages of the first half. And now, second half underway, and Zimbabwe looking to pick it up from where they left it off from. Pushing, probing, pressing, setting the ball in motion. Setting out to the flank here. Drifting away, player goes to the ground. Good attempt here. Morocco trying to keep the Sables at bay. All of a sudden, it looks like they're getting closer and closer. Kick is in, trying to chase and ground that, but that just won't happen as the ball goes out of territory.
Morocco coming in, Zimbabwe coming in with an attacking mindset. You can see Ian Pryor putting in those grabber kicks in the back, trying to get those 5 points and put the score margin, create a wide berth in between the teams and be able to close off this game. Being the champions, we didn't expect them to struggle this much against Morocco, but it was not about Morocco, so you can never know. They are the underdogs, but that doesn't make them any less of the contenders. And it's a 22 dropout. It is well gathered by Mafura. He sets it up for Ian Pryor. Unfortunately, it goes straight into touch. It will be a line out to Morocco just at the point where Ian Pryor kicked from El Katabi. No, it's not El Katabi.
We're trying to make a quick line break here, but it's just not working. Jodat called back to earlier instance.
He tried to go for a quick line out, tried to catch the Zimbabwean snapping, but well, he was far off the mark and he scored back to get the line out proper. Finally, Morocco win a line out convincingly and they set up to attack.
Katabi tried to carry that ball earlier with a bit of a dummy sold there. Now trying to use the blind side here, trying to close down spaces, clawing their way forward. Mohamed Karim Quadri finally brought down, inching ever closer now to the 5-meter line, trying to break through.
I should say the conditions have gotten better, and now we are seeing the teams express themselves. Katabi controlling the game. He passes it to the captain who carries it into contact. I think, is that an injury? No, he is fine. Morocco piling on those phases, trying to get at least 5 points or 7 from here, or at least live with the 3. But whatever they do, they should be able to live with a couple points from here. Katabi brilliantly controlling the game. Zimbabwe is relentless in their defense.
Well, rolling out of that maul and trying to kick that ball forward. Ooh, a little too much oomph on that for Bilal Fadil to get onto, and you can definitely see the visible disappointment here. 4 minutes into the second half. No changes in the scoreline as yet.
I should say, by the look of things, second half is going to be more entertaining. Teams are now more comfortable with the ball, and it stopped raining. The pitch is already dry. Okay, not dry as say, but the conditions are much better and improved compared to the first half. Matthew set to throw the line out for Zimbabwe. Just close to the 5-meter line. Wins the line out. Fraser loses it backwards. Referee says play on. But Morocco pounding, and they force a turnover. They need to leave here with points. It's a penalty, and at least they get a chance to score the 3. Will they go for the 3, or are they going for the goal line? Playing man without the ball, playing the 9. The referee says. Decisions. Oh, quite interesting. They choose to go for glory. They are going for the line. That's a brilliantly worked set piece. Is he able to get there? The referee said he was shot, and this is a penalty. Still a penalty to Morocco. One of the Zimbabwean players was offside, and the referee was playing just advantage. The captain chooses to go for goal.
Going to be a stand test here now for Adil Achaba. Should be in a position where unfettered he should be able to get points on the board and bring down that deficit that they do have. Try to probably slash it down to half. Good attempt at the break there.
I'm surprised he didn't make it.
Oof, the ball slipped from under his arms, and that just got him reeling off. Kick is good.
Jones is able to get the 3 points for Morocco, and they're able to get the scoreboard moving. That's 16-8, just halfway.
It's actually Ian El Katabi that gets that done.
Oh, Katabi.
Originally thought it would be actually the captain, Adil Achaba, but it's Lian El Katabi that delivers the work.
El Qatari pushing the scores to Zimbabwe 16, Morocco 8.
Well, looks like there'll be a substitution, and that's the end of the game for Samir Janoi, who gets to exit the game. In his place, we do see introduction of Karim Kaunoti. We'll be getting confirmation on that in just a bit.
A line out throw to the Sabres. I should say Mandiam has been doing a great job and is able to continue with that brilliant form. Another straight line out.
Trying to make those carries forward. At some point it looks like it's inevitably breaking down, but the Sabres keep grinding at it and now getting the ball forward. Good play. Kundiona. Looking to make a push forward.
Well, the pitch wasn't really that dry, so we should expect a number of handling errors to be happening, just as you're saying here.
In that instance, talk about calling it right on the button.
There was no advantage gain, so we shall have a scrum feed to Morocco just at the 10-meter line.
Well, into the scrum now. Morocco still looking for ways to cut this down. They're halfway there to restore parity. 8 points adrift. Probably should be thinking somewhere in the back of their minds that had that try actually notched, it would be a very different conversation at the moment.
But I should say I'm impressed with the way Morocco is playing. We didn't really think they would push up much of a show, but here they are attacking. Jones, he cuts back in.
Still have possession, trying to break their lines forward once again. Joe Dat was in there, right in the thick of things, and now they pick up possession. Arabao held up here. Now this is intricate play. Good support coming in from Elias El Anatsiri as the Atlas Lions still have possession. The ball seems impeded, but finally relinquished.
Katabi there complained to the referee.
Decision there from Yassine Mamri. This was caught in two minds on whether to release that ball or actually have it played.
Katabi wasn't really happy with how the Zimbabweans were lying in their rack, and he was seen there complained to the referee, trying to get a penalty.
Bilal Fadli tackling the man, much to the protests from the Sables and the vehement defense there. And looks like the referee might want to have a word here with the touch judge. Just getting aligned in here. Still no major disciplinary issues as yet. Many will be hoping that it stays that way.
Penalty to the Zimbabwe Sables, and Ian Pryor finds touch just after the halfway into the Moroccan half. The referee seemed to say the Zimbabwean player, that's a Gure, was taken out in the air, and that's unsafe play.
Ball in. Teased well. Nice pickup. Player goes to the ground. Ooh, it looked like there was a high tackle there on the neck of Adil Achaba. But the Atlas Lions still have possession. 51 minutes. Trying to run at the defense. Setting the ball in. Big kick. Clearing their lines. In motion.
Mafura has seen the gap. He has pinned the space.
There's a kick here for space.
And that's a brilliant kick by Mafura. Finding Mafura finding space in the 22 of the Moroccans.
Tell Saka to give us the substitutions. They're making substitutions we don't know. Okay. I'm sending Anis there to do that now.
Chance for the line out now.
That was a brilliant 50-22 from Tapua Mafura, getting the ball from his half.
Mind. Yeah, very brilliant rugby mind there.
Another perfectly executed line out by Mandioma, carried by Maveseri.
Break. Ooh, lost possession.
The referee plays the advantage here.
Ian Pryor manages to ground that. Will that bring the game once again to another close?
Maveseri being the player we expect him to be, making all those carries. Morocco struggling to defend their lines here. Good carry by Mandioma, but thought he had lost the ball forward. But center referee Zaide Isaac says it went backwards. Play on. Mafura tries to be clever, but well, it is well read by the Moroccan. Calls for mark. Well, he seemed to have taken that far beyond the mark, but we'll play on.
Picked up again. Ian Pryor sets it in motion. Trying to make the chess here, but a little lethargical there. Interestingly, it looks like Matthew Mandioma is still on the ground here for Zimbabwe. Well, that's one player that tends to get back to his feet pretty quickly. Finally, he's back on his feet, but still seems to be walking quite gingerly, feeling the effects of that last challenge. Matthew Mandioma was closed down, literally having a shoulder to his midriff and left groaning in pain. But looks like he'll run it off. There's work to be done, and instantly into the saddle for the Sables. He has to deliver that line out.
we should say he has been among those standout players so far, getting all his lineouts accurately straight. He is yet to miss his jumper.
And the man will be hoping for. This time doesn't work according to plan.
Morocco is able to contest brilliantly, and they're able to secure a ball in their 22.
Ooh, that looks like a neck choke hold. Surprised that was left to run. The referee was right there at it. Could see it.
He has called it. He has called it. I think communication came in from the AR on this other side because he was not in the perfect position to see it. But thank God to the team of three working together, being able to get the right calls.
There you go, making his pronouncement known.
And I should say that's a brilliant kick. Just at the 10 into Zimbabwean half. The sun is out, and if you're not in Nambole by now, I think maybe you could consider passing by later on. But in case you're unable, you can still catch all the games here on NBA Sport. The fans are settling in. Unfortunately, Morocco loses their line out, and it is recovered by Mandioma. A kick under pressure by Mudariki, and it is gathered by the Moroccans, and they try to set an attack into motion. For now, it looks like they're playing jumbled kind of play, and that's why they have even considered a penalty. Holding on, Maveseri is able to force a turnover. Now Zimbabwe get a chance to attack. Wonder what the call will be. Are they going for the goal? Are they going to the corner? And given it's just an 8-point margin in between the scores,
Ian Pryor once again will attempt to go to the kick. Yet to miss from the boot. Oh, this might be a bit of a taller order this time round. Quite a bit of a distance here. This is at it's close to the 10-meter line. But makes the move. Attempts. And the attempt is impeccable. Once again, Ian Pryor notches in another 3 points, and it's 19 here for the Zimbabwe Sables.
I should say Ian has got his eyes on the prize. He has not missed any single kick today. He has not made any error today, and is leading from the front. Speak of the most experienced player in the tournament, Ian Pryor. Collected by Maveseri. He set it up in the 22. But the center, no, the AR, Omar Balikanda, suggests the player was in touch. So it's a line out to Morocco. At the start of the game, Morocco had the rolling maul working for them. We wonder maybe they should revert back to the old tactics and try to get more points on the board. He throws it. That's a brilliantly executed line out. And yes, we have the rolling maul. Referee signals for the line out over. The maul is moving. It is moving. It is moving forward. Bachiri has had enough. And it's a nice back in, though it's brilliantly led by Zimbabwe. Bachiri with a good recycle. Oh, taken back. And Maveseri on the counter.
Open space, and right now it's a chance here for the Sables. Brilliant run. He has support, and the support lines being run through. He decides to make the break on his own, going towards the center. The tackle was in, but still won't stop the Sables. Try time.
He almost fumbled that one. It was close enough.
Well, that's the try that Zimbabwe were waiting for. An exhilarating burst of pace there.
Sigauke, brilliant support play. He knew he had to be there to support his man, and he's rewarded with a try.
But that was a brilliant run as well from Brandon Mudekenyeze.
And speak of Tino Tenda Maveseri setting up from the 22. It was from the 5. It was a dominant tackle. Maveseri there with a pass.
And there you go.
To Sigauke.
Brilliant run. The release.
It's impressive of how he stays up. He gets up quickly to go and support his player because...
Ditch attempt there, taking out the ankles and then almost losing it, but still having enough. Edward Sigauke just making that support run. Almost fumbled it. Well, he wouldn't have lived with himself, but still manages to get that photographic try. And for Zimbabwe, that might just be the try that gives them relief in this game.
Sigauke played all the games for Zimbabwe in the tournament last year, and we should say he's among the most experienced players or talented players in the team at the moment. It is not new to the tournament. He has done this on the big stage. Earlier on, Zimbabwe played the United Arab Emirates. I think it ended 66-22. Sigauke scored a hat-trick, and we are seeing him carry on that impeccable form onto the tournament here.
2 tries in the last edition, 15 points to his name, 3 games played, Edward Sigauke. And now already opens up his tally for this year's edition. The referee momentarily halting. That's 24, chance to take that to 26 and put clear daylight between themselves and Morocco. Is there a chance of even the faintest attempt at a comeback here for the Morocco Atlas Lions?
Well, you never know. You can never count them out. It is just... a
difference of about 18. Yeah, about 18 points there.
Yeah, 18 points. Those, we should say those are like 3 tries. 3 tries will get you the lead.
That's a tall order if you've only managed to get one, and that was at the very beginning of the game. But since then, it's now almost back to the training conditions or the conditions that they were preparing for during the warm-up session. So maybe back to plan A.
Zimbabwe conceded a penalty there, and Morocco was awarded a penalty just at halfway. And now they get a chance to try to reduce the deficit with the line out just inside the 22 of Zimbabwe.
All right, now we do have quite the plethora of substitutions here from the Sables, making changes to their squad. We do get to see Liam Larkin coming in. Already seen Dion Kumalo also introduced to the game, as well as Keegan Jobet brought into the fray.
Zimbabwe is getting more comfortable with the ball, and you can see they try to play it from deep in their 22.
In the meantime, Matthew Mandioma, as well as Kudzai Moshawi, and that is one of the earlier substitutes, Keegan Jobet. Oh, it's actually, that is Tino Mavesere having to make way in the game. Their run already made.
Zaidi Isaac seems to consult with the assistant referee. One of the Moroccan players didn't wrap when he was making the tackle, what you call a shoulder charge. And Ian Prayer gets a chance to set up Zimbabwe in a more advantageous territory and add points on the board. Tyran Fagan with his first throw of the game, coming on to substitute Matthew Mandioma. Oh!
Big roll through.
Brilliantly set up line out move, but the referee seems to call something here. It wasn't straight?
Doesn't look like it was straight. Back to the scrum, and a couple of changes in here for Algeria as well.
They seem to change their entire front row.
That is the introduction of Amin Boukanoi, as well as Nassim El Mori and Nassim Ankid, sorry. That is Nassim Ankid coming on here to join into the fray for the last 15 minutes or so.
Theo Bacheri set to feed for the Moroccans. Bacheri trying to organize for a clearance kick, but unfortunately Zimbabwe forces a handling error from the Moroccans, and they win an attacking scrum just near the 5.
Well, the excitement quite palpable as the rest of the team here cheers on the lads on the on the pitch. For the Moroccans, it must be quite agonizing to keep getting very, very, very close, but still nothing.
The referee signals for time off. One of the Moroccan players seems to be getting medical attention, and I think it's clear to keep playing. Time is back on, and we have an attacking scrum to Zimbabwe. Kegan Jobat set to fade in. You can see Ian Pryor trying to stack on the flanks. He's moving on the right flank. Left flank.
Well, the sunglasses are out now as the sun is out. So, yeah, definitely quite the sight. The Uganda flags. Something that we will see waved a lot later this afternoon, as the rest of Africa is welcome to the Pearl of Africa. In the meantime, the defending champions intent on stamping their mark and showing intent to, well, keep it nothing short of foot on the pedal, all gas, no brakes.
A monster scrum from Zimbabwe, and they force a penalty here. And the ref is playing advantage. Oh, no advantage.
Takes it back.
Because of the much pressure from the Zimbabwean front rows, Moroccans was forced up in the scrum. And the referee has brilliantly seen that and penalized it on instance.
Bonwell Gwini and Tyran Fagan about to be introduced here for the Sables of Zimbabwe. "68 minutes. Scrum, feeding the ball in. Not really in a rush here. Oh, that's a long pass here. Now setting it up onto the open flank. There'll be no catching them. Try time once again for the Zimbabwe Sables. Well constructed That long pass, a thing of beauty. And the Sables stamping their authority and making their mark on this one.
Trevor Gray finishing off that brilliant set-piece move, and he's not a stranger to the goal line. Remember, he scored 2 tries in the final last year for Zimbabwe in that 29-3 win over Algeria, and is continuing to carry on his brilliant form, finishing it off brilliantly.
Well, it was an excellent finish there. Just the tenacity to realize the moment was there, accelerating at the right time. Trevor managed to notch in 2 tries in last year's edition, 10 points to his name. Now picking it up as well. Most of the performers for Zimbabwe that did put in the work in the last edition are not slacking off here. Ian Pryor once again with that boat. It'll be very impressive to go ahead and make tally of how many he has already counted in this season.
Speaking of Trevor, he made his debut in the final last year and he scored 2 tries. I think that's the moment he cemented his name on that squad. And as you can see, he's really a man who's come here to finish the job.
Ian Pryor, once again, still flawless. 5 times, by my count, he has attempted with the boot. 5, 6. He has attempted with the boot.
I think that's 6.
6 times he has attempted with the boot.
6 out of 6
he has executed. (33-8). The margin continues to show the gulf in ability. It's a rude reminder for Morocco that it's a very different ball game since they are 4-year hiatus from the top contention here on the African continent. Last time they played Morocco, it was a draw, 22-22, if my count is correct. Morocco, the last time they played Zimbabwe. This time, Zimbabwe is a whole nother affair altogether.
Yeah, we should commend Zimbabwe because they have tremendously improved over the years, and now they are the best we have to offer from the continent, well, save for South Africa. But at the moment, they are the champions of Africa.
Zimbabwe happened to be the only nation alongside Kenya that held both the 15s and 7s Africa men's titles in the same year. Zimbabwe doing that in 2012 while Kenya did it in 2013. There was an instance where Namibia came very close. They won the 2016 15s title, but fell in the 7s final to the hosts here, Uganda.
Referee playing advantage to Morocco for the knock-on made by the Zimbabwean inside center. But it seemed to be all jumbled. Wait a minute.
Could be a minute here for them to recoup. But Morocco managing to put that back into circulation and then put it out into touch. 33-8 with just about 8 minutes left to play.
I should say that's a very brilliant clearance kick, given the pressure he was put under, but being able to get it almost at the halfway. One of the Zimbabwean players seems to be in distress here.
Zimbabwe out here defending their title and aiming to qualify for their 3rd World Cup. So far, 4 African nations have actually featured at the Rugby World Cup. South Africa, who are the defending champions, have had it 8 times, or been at it 8 times. Namibia close second with 7, Zimbabwe twice, and Cote d'Ivoire once. Will we have another nation joining the 4 at the end of this tournament?
The ref calls for time off. He seems to be trying to consult with the technical team over something. I guess that has been cleared. No?
Well, still consulting here. Referee Zaid Isaacs. Thumbs up here seems to acknowledge that time back on and ready to get the game rolling. Will that be a substitution?
I think it was an injury substitution because I saw one of the Zimbabwean players down, trying to get medical attention, And I think at this point, given the lead they have, you don't have to force a player to push over. Just rest them for the next game.
And it's Brandon Mudekenyeze who is the player that is set to be weaved back in. And Edward Sigauke is the player that actually steps out.
The penalty count is starting to accumulate for the Moroccans, and they should be able to watch their discipline because the scores matter from this game. Tyran Fagan with another throw. He goes deep. That's a dangerous tackle from the Moroccans. And the ref might be going in his pocket for this one.
For the moment, he seems to be content to just allow the gentlemen to get themselves back in order. Upended and then planted. Dilian Utete will still be feeling the effects of that.
I'll be surprised if he goes off without any card, given how he orchestrated that tackle. It was very unsafe. But the mitigation factor would be he didn't land on his head, so that would negate it from being a red card. So it is most probably a yellow card, but depending on what the referee decides, that's what we shall go with.
So Takutswa Muthingwini is the one that actually came on for Edward Sigauke, who picked up an injury. The referee now having a bit of talking to players, and it's a yellow card here for Morocco. Should be their skipper, if I'm not mistaken, Adil Achaba.
Well, it's just compounding on their misery, given the scoreboard at the moment. Losing one of the playmakers doesn't make things any easier.
Skipper Adil Achaba, captain of the Atlas Lions, sent to the sin bin for what will be the rest of the game. In the meantime, Ian Pryor given a chance once again to put his meticulous boot to work for the Sables.
Zimbabwe not taking any chances. Any chance to get the points, they're now going for it.
Goes for the kick. Successful. 36 will read the scoreboard.
That makes it 7 out of 7 for Ian Pryor. And I should say he's looking confident. He's determined to carry his team all the way and hopefully secure the final and make it to the World Cup 2027 in Australia, where he has played before, by the way. Most of his career was spent in Australia, so it won't be foreign territory to him at all.
Interestingly, in the knockout format of Rugby Africa Cup, no team has managed to win back-to-back finals since South Africa Amateurs did it in 2000 and 2001. Morocco themselves reached 3 consecutive finals. That was in the 2003 and 2005. They went to 3, but only managed to win 2. That was in 2003 and 2005. Zimbabwe were the last team that reached back-to-back finals, going on to win the 2012 edition, but losing out in the 2013 edition, while Namibia had 5 wins between 2014 and 2018, but they were in a league format without a playoff final. So as it is, Zimbabwe managing to conquer 2024 and now putting themselves on the right pedestal to go ahead and attempt to go to the final for 2025.
Tyran Fagan with another brilliant throw, getting the line out right. Jobert recycles. Ian Pryor sees gap at the wing.
Good performance there, managing to spot the gap and are looking to use the blind side, but switching up quickly It's quite the debris here of human bodies. The Sables, as they try to get back towards the center of the pitch, advancing and putting in the numbers. Good pass out to the flank. Ian Pryor manages to send it in, and that will be another try. There will be no stopping them. Well, it's official. The Atlas Lions are down and out for the count. There's not much they can do in here. Dilian Utete going on to get another try here for Zimbabwe.
But you can see how easy Pryor makes it look. He's a combination with a Jobat, trying to move the game as fast as possible from the backs to the forwards. And you can see the mismatches they're creating. Now Utete taking on scoring at the wing. Quite a rugby mismatch there. And it is working out for them.
Just another look there at Dilian Utete as he notched the ball down. Setting up another opportunity here to go for it by Ian Pryor, getting into his pre-kicking stance. Goes for it. And once again, another flawless execution.
8 out of 8 for Ian Pryor.
The referee will get the game restarted, but now the Morocco Atlas Lions should be just waiting for that buzzer to put them out of their misery and start focusing on their next fixture. This has totally not gone according to plan. A heavy mauling it's been.
But for a team that has just been promoted, your biggest aim should be able to just avoid relegation. So if they're able to beat Zimbabwe, that would have been very good. But if they fail to beat Zimbabwe, what they should do is find ways of winning the rest of their games and be able to maintain their status in the core African tournament.
Oh, skipping away from one challenge, skipping away from a second, now holding on and trying to power their way in, try to get something in here. Brilliant tackle there, derailing the momentum here of the Atlas Lions. Should have probably played that pass a little earlier, but holding on to the ball and ultimately taken out here by Simbarase Siraha.
The referee was playing at advantage for the knock-on. That was a monstrous tackle.
Not so sure he had any two ideas where his man was. That was a brilliant pass back. The chicken wing pass.
Simbarase Siraha tracking from the Moroccan half and making that tackle, forcing the turnover. The handling error.
So scrum it will be in favor of the Sables. Just 3 minutes left to play.
I'm sure Zimbabwe are looking to stretch this lead further. Unfortunately, they concede a scrum penalty. The loose head hinges and collapses the scrum. Morocco get a chance to try and at least extend their score into a double figure. But at the moment, it's not looking good for them.
In the meantime, we do remind you, be your own investor with MTN Momo. Investors low as 1,000 shillings on daily interest. And you can withdraw your money anytime you do want to. No paperwork needed. Simply dial *165 *6 hash or select investor and select investor or use the MTN Momo app.
Morocco going back to their little weapon, that's the maul. But Zimbabwe doing a good job there and disorganizing it legally.
And looking for ways to keep rolling on that ball. And Morocco picking it up, and Butterfingers here will get punished. As Zimbabwe selling that dummy well. Good play from Dion Kumalo. Goes the way, setting the ball in motion once again. Looking to relinquish. The subs coming on with sublime power. Looking to set that ball away quickly. Looking to run the support in here. Was a brilliant run. And there goes the hooter. Signal the end of normal time.
If you're Zimbabwe, what do you do in this scenario? You're leading by a good margin. You've won the game. Do you play it or do you just kick it out?
Well, the ideal thing would probably be to go for the kick. The game is well and truly won. There's nothing that you really need in this one. Just conserve energy and go forward. And Ian Pryor does exactly that according to the script. The Zimbabwe Sebos mark their return to the Rugby Africa Cup with a resounding victory over the Atlas Lions. It's been a total golf in class, and Ian Pryor putting on a masterclass when it comes to the kicking boot. He's definitely showed that he's going to be one to contend to, and Zimbabwe laying down the marker for their title defense, aiming to put their foot forward and punch their ticket to Australia for the World Cup. For the Atlas Lions, a humbling reminder that when the big dogs come out to play, you might want to bring your A game. And at full time, here at the Rugby Africa Cup 2025, live from the Mandela National Stadium in Kampala, Uganda, it's Zimbabwe 43, Morocco 8.
All right, as both teams get on the pitch, it is anthem time. First up, Algeria. All right, as both teams get on the pitch, it is
with a lot of confidence, especially when you look back at how well they performed last time round.
Scrum reset, 8-9 play, but the Cote d'Ivoire forwards have won that battle in the scrum. They've forced the front row to collapse at the scrum in there, and they win a penalty for the team. Sekou Traore will be looking for touch, but what a scrum from Cote d'Ivoire, a show of interest to Algeria, who looked to play the ball out wide.
Yeah.
They had overloaded on the short side. They wanted to do an 8-9 on the open side, but what a power scrum from Cote d'Ivoire.
Yeah, that's quite impressive by the Ivorians to see them really putting the Algerians on the back foot there. It's not something that many people probably would have expected, but Cote d'Ivoire seem to have really different ideas about how they intend to approach the game.
Line out now. The first 5 minutes have been dominated by set pieces, 2 scrums. First line out, it is up in the air. Second line out, rather, up in the air. This time it goes the hands of Algeria. It's sent through the backs. Ball bounces in front of the midfielder there, Nadir Megdoud. Carries it into contact, is held up. And the referee says tacklers need to release. Julian Caminati wins possession. But the Cote d'Ivoire players approaching at that breakdown entered from the side, and penalty will go to the Lion Cubs. Les Lionceux.
Yeah,
they
that's
are called in French.
In French, that is Algerians are doing quite well there to try and force the error from the Ivorians. Now that gives them an opportunity to kick for territory and get into the 10. It's probably where they will be hoping to capitalize.
Yeah, they will need that set piece to go right according to plan, and Issam Hamel will need to throw. 5-man line out. They walk in, they go up. Very clean line out now to the backs, through the hands to the midfield. There goes Caminati, was it, in the number 15 jersey, and then offloading to the outside. Algeria have advantage, swinging it through the hands to the boat is Hugo Verdu, looking for that grass behind, but he knew he had a free play, so he could try and test the backfield. Ball goes into touch, but Algeria had advantage, and they'll be taking that penalty just inside the 10 for collapsing at that vector.
Well, the thing is that the Ivorians had hoped that that kick that didn't seem to be remaining on the field would have given them the advantage for the line out, but looking back at their previous infringement, it has turned out to be costly. So it's an opportunity to go for the pause for the Algerians and possibly first points on the board.
Julian Caminati was the top points scorer last year in the Rugby Africa Cup. His right foot sent Algeria into the final. The question now is what start will Caminati be giving the Algerians? Scored 32 points last year. This year he looks to start his campaign, but his first attempt for points is just wide. And Algeria are now finally into the 22, but only just because Cote d'Ivoire will exit with that restart kick that I expect should be going deep from Sekou Traore.
That would be disappointing for Algeria. I thought that the penalty was in a very good position, and Caminati clearly had a very good view of the poles to at least try and split them, but for him to miss from that range, it's quite disappointing. I'm sure that the Algerians will be feeling.
Cote d'Ivoire now with possession, looking to exit their territory. Osman Koulibaly goes to the back. Sekou Traore is charged down. There's a big man running for that ball, but it bounces into touch. The referee has called them back. It's a no-con for that contest in the air earlier off that kick chase. That's going to be a scrum for Cote d'Ivoire.
Yeah, I like the way the referees are keeping close tabs on how the game is progressing. I thought that that was one of those moments that he could have missed, seeing that knock-on by the Algerians.
We take this opportunity to introduce one of our partners, that is Omo, the best detergent that you can use to clean up your kit and make it as white as the Algerian lion cubs. Usman Koulibaly with ball in hand. Dominant scrum the previous time for Cote d'Ivoire. Now they have the possession. They shuffle it back out. No contest from the number 9, Sekou Traore. This time gives it a short chip and chase kick. Well fielded by Algeria. That was Kaminati, and now through the hands. Hugo Verdu sends it up in the air looking for that 50-22, but kicks it straight into touch, and Cote d'Ivoire have matched some precious meters into the Algeria territory without a single effort. Verdu's kick not on the mark as he had intended.
Yeah, of course, I'm sure that the idea was different, that he had wanted to execute there, but just didn't fall for him, and just relieves the pressure that they were trying to mount on the Ivorians.
This is a bit of a slow match compared to what we had in the first. I thought Algeria and Cote d'Ivoire will be one of those high-scoring matches, and 10 minutes on the clock, no points scored yet. Maybe they are still sizing themselves up.
Yeah, of course. I don't know whether also because now the sun is out, there's less early exertion coming from the two sets of teams here.
Conditions in Wakiso and in Kampala can be tricky for visitors to manage. We have the biggest lake on the continent, Lake Victoria, just a walkable distance from here. You can even see the Lake Victoria when you are at the top of the roof truss of Nambole, and that convectional weather changes, causes lots and lots of changes. It was raining and pouring down in the first match. It is now shining and burning in the second match, and those changing conditions are what these players will have to contend with on the African continent.
I guess that's the reason why they do not want to exert very early. They still have a long way to go, and that's why they have probably decided to start a bit slow as they gauge each other, one or the other.
Algeria running that loop. Verdu again to the boot, looking for grass behind that Cote d'Ivoire backline. It's well fielded by Cote d'Ivoire. Should have been Benjamin Maurice. Applies pressure to the ball. It's bouncing on and stays on. Kaminati unable to stop the 50-22. What a kick from the Algeria, the Cote d'Ivoire fullback, Ismail Nakhenabo. And he gets an applause from his teammates on the bench. Kaminati too relaxed, leaves that ball to bounce a little too many times. And it ran into touch. And what a line out this is going to be in a good attacking platform for Cote d'Ivoire.
Yeah, definitely. You feel that the Ivorian fullback just did a very good job with that kick. And maybe in one way or the other, you feel that maybe Kaminati was a bit casual in approaching that ball. He should have reacted a lot faster. But I guess he was fooled by the bounce, thinking that it wouldn't go far.
Ismail Martin throws, but the line out is not on point. And Algeria have nicked a crucial turnover. Referee will bring an end to that contest, and he's summoning the two captains, Elias Koulibaly for Cote d'Ivoire and Marvin Youssef for Algeria. He has a word to say to Boris Diomande for not releasing and continuing to play after the whistle has been blown. That call is for coming from the side, rather. Diomande giving away a penalty in good territory for Cote d'Ivoire. They had an opportunity to play and score some points there.
Yeah, definitely. And I thought that they should have handled the line out a lot better than they did. And it's the second time that they've had a platform of a line out and they have still not executed well. They have lost the ball.
Fans coming in early and braving the early morning shower. Now they have to deal with the sun. And see the Ghanaian fans especially, they are still a bit worried and concerned as the clock ticks towards that 4 p.m. kickoff between the host, the Rugby Cranes, and the Kenya Simbas, arch rivals. on this African continent.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of heightened expectation, no doubt about that.
Cote d'Ivoire have advantage of that line out. Rather, Algeria. It's picked out. Now a free play. Goes to the back door. Verdu. Look at that injection of pace from Yaome, from rather Nadir Mekdoud. It goes into the 22. Well recycled for the big men to carry. This time it's Mohamed Ben Beldad. Floats it out to the wing. Algeria have reached the edge and they have caught Cote d'Ivoire napping multiple penalties. The referee has a double blow of the whistle. He will be saying something to Elias Koulibaly. Cote d'Ivoire are finding themselves on the wrong side of the law a little too many times, but Algeria will be more concerned that their hooker, Issam Hamel, is on the floor in pain.
Yeah, of course they'll be concerned about that, but they've got to give credit to the Algerians and the way they were flowing there. The ball movement was quite impressive, and you could see how they were trying to open up this Ivory Coast defense line. And if they continue just playing as quickly as they are, with the way they are moving the ball, then you think that it should just be a matter of time before they get their first try.
Matter of time.
Especially the Morocco players and officials right there in your picture. They just got beat.
Yeah, I liked the way Morocco announced their return to the Rugby Africa Cup. That quick try against Zimbabwe in the rain. Unfortunately, when the conditions changed, Ian Pryor, eventual man of the match, took charge and inspired them to a commanding display.
Yeah.
The fans for sure are getting value for their money. Although just 15 minutes played in this match, no points have been scored. We have a stoppage. It's been a bit sluggish. But you know for sure that these two teams are going to, this tournament is not going to disappoint for sure.
Yeah, not at all. Clearly you can see that all the teams are really locked in, but there seems to be an early substitution. It seems like the hooker is being taken off. Or rather the number 8 man, I think.
Should be number 2, Issam Hamel, because Emerick Tronk is being prepared to jump on. Hamel is back on his feet. Algeria with
you can see how he's
limping. With this, with the clock now, you can make a change. If it's a tactical change early in this match, it means that Hamel can come back on. But if it's an injury substitution, he's not going to be able to come back on. So Algeria have a bit of decision making to do with just 15 minutes on the clock.
Well, it doesn't seem to be in a hurry to get off. I get a feeling that from the way he's reacting and the body language suggesting that he wants to keep going.
He's in pain.
He ran it off, maybe. That's what he thinks.
He's in pain. And, you know, I would understand where these players are coming from, because this is the Continental Championship. The best rugby playing countries on the continent, on Africa, are looking to make their mark. But even more importantly, there's the Rugby World Cup qualifier to play, and Algeria were the finalists, came short last year. They are thinking that this is the year they can go the long way, and Issam Hamel will be looking to empty the tank for sure.
Well, just don't think he can go in for long.
Hamel cannot go on any further. A substitution will have to be made. Looks like his left leg cannot bear the effort no more. Algeria will continue with ball in hand, playing 16 men. Mehdi Slimani going alone against that Cote d'Ivoire line. Slow ball for Gillen, bouncing through the hands. Advantage to Cote d'Ivoire for the knock-on, and it's picked up by the loose forward in the number 7 jersey, Wamburu Doso. Penalty for offside goes against Algeria, as Usman Koulibaly was looking to catch them on the break. And I think this is going to now be the time for Issam Hamel to make way for Emerick Tronk. A bit of a disappointing start to his, not disappointing, but heartbreaking start to his campaign.
Yeah.
Issam Hamel is unable to continue in this match, and hopefully maybe he'll be able to continue in the tournament.
Well, I think
the teams have extra time to prepare, from 3 days last year to now 4 days.
Yeah.
That extra day could come in handy, especially for Issam Hamel.
Yeah, and you can see that he was really hesitant to get off. He was trying to push himself to see if he can run off that pain, but he soon, rather than later, realized that the pain was possibly increasing and he just couldn't go on. But I'm a bit disappointed with the Algerians and the way they've fluffed that opportunity while on the offense, because they turned over that ball in a manner where I felt that normally you'd think that for the experience that they have, that they would have capitalized and picked a try from that phase of attack.
It's a, you could say the same carbon copy about Cote d'Ivoire with how they are playing in these zones. Advantage of possession is being given away, and then they have to now navigate in that region between the 22 and the 22. And especially for Algeria, it's concerning times. They need to make use of this power play. They have a man advantage because Cote d'Ivoire's hooker Ismail Martin is in the sin bin, and that is why Elias Koulibaly in the #1 jersey there had to throw the line out.
Yeah.
So Algeria will need to pick up the pace. They just have 8 minutes to ensure that they put some points on the board before Cote d'Ivoire back to the full 15.
Yeah, you think that this is an opportunity for Algeria, definitely, but from the body language and the way that they are applying themselves, you just don't see that zest in their play. And I wouldn't be surprised if it continues to be, you know, a scoreless game for the next, say, 10 or so minutes, because you just don't see that thrust in their play, and it's keeping Ivory Coast in good stead.
Hugo Verdu goes to Mehdi Slamani. Back to the short side. Killen finds Karim Bouregba, and now out to the back. Short ball, but that's sailed forward from the hands of a Merrick Tronk. The captain, Marvin Youssef, looked like he was through, but the pass to him was forward. And Algeria continue to squander good scoring opportunities in good territory.
Yeah, a bit too anxious there. We wouldn't have expected them to make that kind of error there, especially after the kind of play that they were enjoying.
Another stoppage, this time for a substitution. The two teams, Cote d'Ivoire and Algeria, are struggling under these humid conditions. We noticed that although a Merrick Tronk has come on, the hooker duties have gone to 8th man Rain Barker. You can see him at that front row. Gets to show a lot of versatility in him.
And you think that it is a moment for Algeria to exploit the fact that Ivory Coast do not have their hooker.
We take an opportunity to introduce you to our partner, RUGBY, who is Uganda's #1 premium energy drink. And they say they are bringing the energy to the pitch as the official energy partner of the Uganda Rugby Union. RUGBY say we're talking unstoppable energy on the pitch and in the stands as our Rugby Warriors battle it out at the Rugby Africa Cup and Rugby World Cup qualifiers right here at Nambole Stadium. Come feel the power, test that bold RUGBY energy, and let's cheer our boys all the way to victory. RUGBY, energize your game, they say. Another stoppage, 4 minutes after the first one for injury. Algeria having lost a player. Now Cote d'Ivoire have also lost a player to injury.
You know, these kinds of stoppages just kill the momentum, especially for the team that is a bit on the ascendancy, where it helps the lesser team to regroup. But from what we've seen so far, they seem to be squaring up quite evenly here.
Yeah, still 0-0, 19 minutes played. The change has been made, and at the front row, on for Cote d'Ivoire is Evradou Lawi. And this has forced Hussein Kone to get off. This change has been made because the hooker Ismail Martin is in the sin bin. And the player who appeared to have gotten an injury has recovered just in time. Evradou Lawi at the front row, and he's the first to pop up from that pressure from Algeria, but the ball is shuffled out to the backs, and what an exit kick. Verdu sends it out to Caminati. Caminati looking to to deploy Neldi McDood into open space, but it's well patrolled by Cote d'Ivoire, and the boat is forced from Verdu, who exits, and now the kicking battle goes on. The contest between Algeria and Cote d'Ivoire is non-stop. Here goes Gillen. Gillen tackled but offloads off the floor. Pass out to the captain, Marvin Youssef. Referee says advantage to the Lion Cubs. Big ball carrier, Mehdi Slamani, is in open space. But the ball is lost at the floor by Jalil Agweni. Agweni looked to go to the short side, was told to go to the open side, but he had his hands on the ball initially and he loses it forward on the floor. But advantage for Algeria from that high tackle.
Yeah, they are saved by the referee's whistle there. Otherwise, you feel that he could have turned over the ball to the Ivorians. They've got an opportunity now to get the ball back for that penalty opportunity, and maybe this time that they can split the poles.
Gillen Kael is tackled high. That's what the advantage is for. At that point, the Cote d'Ivoire coach is sure to send a few instructions to the players still on the pitch. We've gone just halfway through this first half. Still 0-0. Julian Caminati missed his first attempt for points. He will have a second shot. This time it's closer from just the 10-meter line. Penalty for Cote d'Ivoire. What can Julian Caminati do? He had 32 points last year, the top point scorer.
Yeah, Algeria have got a good opportunity now to try and get off the mark. Otherwise, the earlier miss was not the best of executions.
Ooh. Another miss. The assistant referees having a good look at it and keeping their flags down. Caminati going 0 for 2 from the kicking tee. He's yet to find his bearings.
Well, I just don't understand why Algeria are missing kicks in that position. You wouldn't expect a team at this level to be missing from that kind of position. You feel that the penalty kicks are quite central for them to take advantage of.
Algeria are doing well with ball in open play off the boot, but they are struggling off the kicking team. Maybe could be time to give Caminati an extra shot, and if that does not convert into points, they could look at the other kicking options. Because Gillen KL can kick, Hugo Verdu can kick as well. But there will be another school of thought that says you have your first choice kicker, trust him, back him. Maybe these are just 2 misses. He could find his bearings in this 4th, 5th, maybe.
Well, I just feel that looking at how evenly poised this game is, you wonder whether they may not turn out to rule these opportunities, because those are 6 points that have been left on the floor there. And you think that just one opportunity that Ivory Coast could take advantage of, and looking at how well they've been defending, you never know.
Good scrum from Algeria, rather, and they win a scrum penalty. That is the response that the tight forwards needed, especially knowing that for Cote d'Ivoire, Evra Doulawi is an 8th man. He comes on as a replacement hooker. That front row with Dylan, Jalil Agweni, Mohamed Reda Ben Lebad, and a Merrick Tronk, or rather Rain Barker, has earned Julian Caminati another shot at goal. It's closer, the closest he has come. What will he do in his 3rd attempt for points?
Yeah, maybe this time he needs to atone for his earlier mistakes. But you can see how the lack of a natural hooker has really cost the Ivory Coast in that scrummaging.
Julian Caminati. It's the right of the poles. He has been missing from the left. Flags are down. The wind is not breezing, and for the first time in this match, we have points on the board, and they will go to Julian Caminati using that penalty from the right. Finally finds his bearings and splits the uprights to put the Lion Cubs in the lead against Cote d'Ivoire.
Well, some relief for Algeria finally getting off the mark with that penalty from Caminati. Otherwise, I'm sure that they were beginning to feel a bit frantic there, the fact that they had already missed twice.
Hooker comes back on after serving his sin bin, Ismail Martin. And we have a restart. Algeria through Kamil Buregba, who offloads it out to Mehdi Slamani. And now we are going to see a box kick from Gillen Kehel. Sends it high. It's just by the backfield, but that kick will go straight into touch. It was outside the 22, so no gain in possession, and perhaps more crucially, no gain in territory. Just outside the 22, Cote d'Ivoire now comes.
Yeah, and a good opportunity for Cote d'Ivoire now to also stage an attack of their own here. Must give credit to them because they've really tried to keep Algeria at bay for as long as they have.
Good line out from Cote d'Ivoire to the back of that pod on the 15-meter line. But unfortunately, yet again, you can see the disappointment on the face of Boris Diomande getting off the floor. He was tackled, did not release, got back onto his feet, and the penalty goes away. There's a bit of lull in this match. There's not much to excite the watchers.
Yeah, I know.
And it's not for the lack of ability from these players. It's simply that they're making so many errors with ball in hand.
Yeah, exactly. And I felt that Ivory Coast losing the ball in the manner that they did there. You know, you go down, you're supposed to present the ball, and you don't, and then you pick yourself up and you continue. That's, in many ways, such a big error, and not at this level should you be committing such an error.
Rain throws in that line out. Algeria shape up to make that rolling and driving maul. Referee says use it. They only have one opportunity to get that ball out, but the forwards continue plugging and plugging. This time they are brought down at just the 22-meter line. Gillen, slow to pick it up, goes to Emerick. Emerick is throwing borderline forward passes, but the referee says this time that was backwards. Marvin Youssef, the captain. Now to the tight five. Mohamed Reda is fast, then through to the backs. Hugo Velde, Julian Caminati on the back door to the wing. Ilyas Mohamed into the 22. Algeria have come. The ball is tampered with at the floor. Referee says play on, and there goes Cote d'Ivoire in open space. Cut left and right. There was the fly half. Amadou Sekou Traore offloads it out. The kick into open space for him to chase, and his opposite number, Hugo Velde, decides to carry it into touch. It's going to be a line out for Cote d'Ivoire. What a turn of defense. Algeria not taking care of the ball at the line out, at the breakdown, and now they have to defend the line out inside their own 22.
Yeah, exactly. But you could see how it was about caution there. Just play the ball out and let them just try and execute from the line out. And we've seen that Cote d'Ivoire, right from the start of this game, they've not been doing well on the line outs. And maybe that's where Algerians feel that they can still snatch that ball away. But just didn't understand how Algeria lost the ball there at the breakdown.
Ismail Martin is back on. He's there starting hooker, and he makes no mistake with the line out. Offloads it out to Traore, Sekou. Big ball carries Dio Mande. Enters the 22 successfully, just 10 meters short. Shuffling it through the hands to the outside. That is Elias Koulibaly, the captain. Slow ball. The forwards getting to work. This time it's in the hands of Husseini Kone. Well taken care of by Cote d'Ivoire. They are working backwards. Diomande again with his commanding figure and presence in the tight areas, but his support players give away a penalty at that breakdown for illegal arrival.
Well, I guess it was a bit of really dangerous play there coming in from the Ivorians. For them to lose the ball in that manner, again, you can see how the Algerians have done quite well in pegging them back, pushing them back every time that they've tried to stage some good platform for attack there. So I think credit to the Algerians for the solidity, but also the pressure that they put on the Ivorians to take them back.
The game is slowly but steadily picking up pace as the clock ticks towards the half-hour mark. 29 minutes played. But it's just noon here in Uganda. It's East African time, just 3 hours GMT plus. And I spoke to Ian Pryor after full time when he was receiving his Man of the Match award, and he said that the last time he played at 10 a.m. was when he was back in the under-9s. So these are tough conditions, tough conditions for the players, professional players like him, to contend with. Most of the time they're used to playing at night or late in the evening. Good line out from Algeria. To the back, sends it up in the air. Hugo Verde has identified the winger out of position, but that's well recovered by Emmanuel Hulu. And oh my, Verde unable to judge the path and flight of that ball in the air. And then we have a player arriving late in there, Camille Buregba. Unnecessary from him to start that scuffle, gives away a penalty, walks away with his head down. He's guilty of his action. I think the Cote d'Ivoire player was trying to milk a yellow card from that sequence. What looks like a scrum down for Cote d'Ivoire might end up being a penalty. There's that ball lost forward by Hugo Velde, and then just wait and see what Buregba does. Arrives late, full force, puts his hands on Emmanuel Hutu, and Emmanuel Hutu.
But that was unnecessary from the Algerian still.
Emmanuel Hutu.
I'm sure he will get a warning from the referee because he didn't need to.
He didn't need to, but there's a bit of spice.
Yeah, of course, yeah. A bit of
Hutu.
drama, clearly.
He knows what he's doing, and I think those are scenes we've only been accustomed to seeing in other places, but not on the rugby pitch. Shot clock for the penalty, ticking towards 30 seconds. You have 60 seconds to take that penalty. And maybe now Cote d'Ivoire can also get some points on the board. They do well, and make no mistake, at that point it's now back to square one. Algeria 3, Cote d'Ivoire 3. These two teams have had a slow start, but finally they've begun plugging away at it. The first penalty for Cote d'Ivoire goes to Amadou Seko Traore, their fly half.
Well, that's a very good leveler for Ivory Coast. They came into this game against a team that were losing finalists last year, and they were definitely underdogs, clearly. But for them to be level at this point after 30 minutes, then I'm sure that it will build their confidence.
Restart goes deep inside the 22, well gathered by Issa Bosono. Cote d'Ivoire will need to exit, and Seko Traore edges it on the right of his boot, and actually the kick goes backwards from where he kicked it.
Yeah, surely.
As a line out for Cote d'Ivoire, for Algeria rather.
I don't know.
It's unfortunate there.
Yeah, I don't know whether he was scared of the overcharging by the Algerians. Otherwise, that's not the finest of kicks that you will ever see. Good steal there by Ivory Coast on the line out.
Putting up a contest in that set piece. We've not seen dominance from any of the teams. But now Cote d'Ivoire with ball in hand, they are attacking. But the attack is being built from deep inside their own area. And there goes Diomande, a little bit too proud, and goes into contact at a slow pace. He's held up, and the turnover has been affected by Algeria.
Yeah, that would be really disappointing. And as far as Ivory Coast are concerned, you can't lose the ball in that area. You've got to make sure that you play out and save yourselves the pressure now. They are going to be on the back foot now that Algeria has got that ball there. I'm sure that the Algerians are going to try and see that once they get that ball in the scrum, they really put pressure on that Ivory Coast park. push them back and get as close as possible to that try line. And you know that they've got the ability to do that, especially with the quality and experience that they've got at this level.
Scrum fit for Algeria in good territory. Hugo Verde appears to be shuffling to the short side. He slowly walks to that short side. On the open side is Alexis Renu, who maintains that short and flat line with Nadir Megdoud in space next to him. It's going to be an interesting view of that combination between Rain Bark and Gillen Cahill. At the back of that scrummage, look at them communicating with each other and taking a glance to the short side. It's being manned by just one player on the Cote d'Ivoire defense. But what decision do they do? Referee gives a free kick to Algeria for Cote d'Ivoire, engaging early. Goes straight to Rain Barca, carries it straight to the 5, and now the forwards overlapping on the open side. Merdi Slamani. The Algerians have advantage. Diomande giving away another penalty. Hugo Velde goes up in the air. It's a cross kick, but it's off touch, and Kamer Bulegba cannot carry it and ground it. But Algeria will know they had a free play penalty fully at that point, and they will be attacking again after getting that offside advantage.
Yeah, of course, Algeria must consider themselves quite fortunate as well here.
Rain Barca has his hands on the ball, feigns a scratch, then goes back to the short side on the loop, but it's been lost forward by Algeria, and this time the referee gives a double blow of the whistle. Diomande has used up his 9 lives in the referee's eyes, and he is told to match by the center referee. Elias Koulibaly will want to whisper something to the referee, but unfortunately the decision has already been made.
Yeah, for offside again. It's going to be a big miss for the Ivory Coast side. He's been quite a trusted ball carrier there.
Algeria have a penalty as the clock ticks towards halftime.
Yeah, and you can bet that they will be pushing on to try and see that they can get a try here, as opposed to going for poles.
They know it's a big man.
Yeah.
So they are looking for that advantage play. The call is offside for Diomande. Cynical play, to be honest. He had no reason to make the tackle from that position. And yet again, Algeria have a power play advantage. Rain Barca goes to the short side, combines with his number 9. Gillen will be touching down fast in the second quarter final. Cahill finding that open space from that 8-9 combination at the scrum, and he touches down in the corner for Algeria. They lead by 8 points to 3 against Cote d'Ivoire late in this first half.
Well, very good persistence coming in from the Algerians there, Ernest. And you can see that they took advantage of every opportunity they got, but also put the Ivory Coast in trouble by getting Diomande sin bin at the point that he was. So that gave them that numerical advantage, and also giving them that opening for them to get that first try of the game.
Ilyas Mohamed Bergal was on the open side. Gillen Cahill could have used him, but the overlap had already been created. The space was open, and he touched down. Now Julian Caminati can make it double figures for Algeria as we look forward to the halftime break. Caminati, this time it's wide. So score will stay as is, 8 points to 3. Caminati, wondering what the challenge could be today of the kicking team.
Yeah, I'm sure that he's mystified as well, because you can see as he was rubbing his face there, it was clear that he was disappointed that he was failing for the 3rd time in 4 opportunities.
Algeria slow to get to the restart.
And I'm I'm sure that with the halftime score of 8-3, Cote d'Ivoire will be happy that they've been able to stay in it for as long as they have. They'll have a platform to build on.
Ball lost forward by Algeria inside their 22 of that restart. There's the score and confirmation of the time on the clock. Just under a minute to the halftime break. These teams have had to navigate some hot and humid conditions here at the Mandela National Stadium in Nambole. And for sure, they'll want to go back into the halftime break with a bit of an advantage over each other. But especially for Cote d'Ivoire, they are coming from behind. They need to level matters and possibly take the lead. They have a scrum.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a good opportunity for them. But for Algeria, again, the handling errors, like you've intermittently been talking about them in this half, not the kind of Algeria that we saw last year, not this kind of errors as we're seeing this early afternoon.
To the short side. Hop step from Issa Bosono. Goes to the 22. It's ripped backwards by the Algerian defense. Ball is well secured by Cote d'Ivoire. Picked up by Bosono again. And he's taken high by the captain, Marvin Youssef. And it's going to be a penalty for Cote d'Ivoire. They tap it quickly, but the player Umbaru Doso says, not too eager. Benjamin Morris, relax. Let's take the 3. We go into halftime when we have a bit of a close margin against Algeria.
Yeah, I think that it's a wise move. You don't have to be, over ambitious. If you have got the opportunity to just get the 3 points on the board, just keep the scoreboard clicking.
Waduse Kuturi made no mistake in his first attempt. He has a second plug at it. This time it's from the left of the uprights. As the third quarter finalists, Namibia, arrive here at the Mandela National Stadium. They will be taking on Senegal in the match that follows from this. But now, Sekou Traore to send us into halftime with just a 2-point game between Algeria and Cote d'Ivoire. Makes no mistake. That's the halftime score. 8 points Algeria lead against Cote d'Ivoire. We will be back after halftime. Well, we are back underway in the second half. Algeria leading Cote d'Ivoire by 8 points to 6. It's going to be a close contest between these two teams. And without further ado, Rain Barker decides to assert his authority against the Cote d'Ivoire forwards. But unfortunately, that pass looking for Mohamed Reda Ben Lebad drops to the floor, and Cote d'Ivoire have a scrum.
Yeah, again, another ball handling error by Algerians. That's the third one in the game. And if I look back at how they were last year, these were so few in their game last year. This time, I don't know why. They've really had quite a number of slips that have really given the Ivorians relief.
The coach yesterday in his interview just before captain's run said Algeria held a 1-week training camp in Algeria for the first time in their history. Most of these players, over 16 players, are based in France, and so it's a bit difficult to get them together, or even more difficult to get them together at home. So maybe this is what is causing such challenges, and you can see how Algeria are coming out second best in that scrum, the front row collapsing, the communication between the two players, not exact, the players in the team not exactly clicking. And that, you can say, is what is stopping the defending champions, the losing finalists from last year from, starting strong. But we wait to see what the second half is going to look like for them.
Yeah, exactly. And you can tell that they're really a bit aback.
Nadir Mekdoud rather was through on the break after spinning out of a tackle, but his offload, Mekdoud, does not go to hand. It sails forward. Ismail Nashanabo not able to gather, he loses it forward as well. Knock on by Algeria, knock on by Cote d'Ivoire, scrum Cote d'Ivoire.
Yeah. It's just saved by that fact that Algeria had knocked on the ball earlier than them. But I can tell you that was a very good opportunity for Ivory Coast to launch an attack of their own and find the gaps, because I thought they were quite a number.
2 minutes into the second half, and Algeria have pulled the trigger. They bring on Yassine Boutemani and Mohamed Yakin Jebari at that front row. Perhaps this is the opportunity. This is the moment that they needed to begin to put some daylight between themselves and Cote d'Ivoire. Cote d'Ivoire yet to make a couple of changes, but they have been forced by those handling errors, by those yellow cards rather, where they were reduced to 14 men rather, 7 men in the forwards. But this time, even as the second half is on, they are still a man down, and they have to work hard from deep inside their own territory.
Yeah, of course, if they can weather the storm in the first 5 minutes of the second half, then that will mean that it will give them an opportunity to have their big man back, Diomande.
Nashanabo goes up and long, well fielded by Kaminati. Kaminati through the hands to the backs. Elias Makani isolated, hands on the ball by the Cote d'Ivoire hooker, who is Ismail Martin, and he wins that turnover penalty for Cote d'Ivoire. You know, interestingly,
yeah,
Ismail Martin, when you look at him, he looks like a midfielder. That deceptive size, not very bulky compared to his front row partners, as you can see them on the screen. But what technique that was. Tackle was made, hands on the ball, and he braced for impact from the approaching players, and he won the turnover for Cote d'Ivoire.
Yeah, that's very good pressure coming in from Ivory Coast, knowing that for as long as Algeria kept hold of the ball, the whistle would be blown for not releasing and presenting the ball. And that's exactly the smart move that you've got to credit Ivory Coast for. They know exactly what to do to try and see that they gain the advantage.
Issam Hamel throws, or rather Ismail Martin, but the ball does not go to hand. Cote d'Ivoire lose it to Algeria. Algeria now put it to both. Beautiful footballing skills from Ousmane Koulibaly, and he hangs it in the air. Claims to have been impeded. Referee says play on. Kaminati has spotted that open space, is looking for that 50-22. The chase is on for Benjamin Morris to stop it from rolling into touch. Sekou Toure will exit, but that won't go so far. It's just outside the 22. Kicking contest like we expected. Algeria kick a lot, Cote d'Ivoire kick a lot.
Yeah.
where and how you kick will make the difference in
Yeah,
this game.
yeah, exactly. And I just don't think that the kicks of the Ivorians have been good enough. For me, they've got opportunities that you felt that they could have taken advantage of and maybe do that kind of kick that touches down before it goes straight out into touch. And they've just not executed it as well, oftentimes.
Rain Barker throws. Another rolling maul set up by Algeria. The Lion Cubs, they are marching into the 22. It splinters, but the front row stays bound, and they continue to march forward. Shuffled through the hands, and advantage. Referee says he won't waste any more time. Awards the penalty try to Algeria. One would say that was too early, but the way the maul was rolling, referee says it was enough to be a try-scoring opportunity, and he awards the full complement of points. Algeria now up by 15 points, and Cote d'Ivoire down even further by a man after that penalty try.
Yeah, interesting to see how it has turned out for Ivory Coast. I thought that they were, handling themselves quite well in this second half, but just that infringement has given Algeria the advantage now, taking their lead by an extended 7 points, now 15-6, and now clearly you feel that Ivory Coast have cooked themselves.
There will be no conversion needed as Ibrahim Traore takes his seat for the next 10 minutes. In case you missed it in there, that shot showed Aziz Azouz, who is the Algeria team manager. He's the former general manager of Rugby Africa. And now he's here to see his team work hard and maybe qualify for the Rugby World Cup. Couple of handling errors from Algeria and Cote d'Ivoire. Algeria will take the advantage, kick it out of their 22 and just onto the line of the Cote d'Ivoire 22. Seko Traore goes up and under. His eyes are up on the ball. He looks for the contest, but it is not a fair contest for anyone. And referee says play on as the ball bounced on the floor. Advantage for offside, this time against Umburu Dusu. And there goes the quick restart, the try scorer. Gillen offloads it out to Rain Barker. Rain Barker grab a kick back in field. Claims to have been impeded. Ball rolls into touch. It's going to be a goal line dropout, as the ball has bounced into touch. And look at that from Rain Barker. Another
Well, I think he's reacting.
Cote d'Ivoire player. Same player. I think that was Benjamin Morris trying to feign a hit. And now the scuffle has gotten out of hand. Remember, Boris Diomande is on a yellow card. He needs to be careful with his discipline in there. That whole scuffle has been started by Rain Barker and Benjamin Morris, and now the